This week, I thought of the best name for this particular 7-step program that I am teaching you, and the name is 7 Steps to Divine Alignment. Last week, we went over step 1. If you didn't watch it, go and watch it now. Today, we're going to step 2. So before I teach you step 2, I just want to reiterate that now, because I have a name for it, it's the 7 Step to Divine Alignment. 7 Steps to Divine Alignment. It's a program that I have designed, which makes sense because I also host retreats called Divine Alignment, and we use the chakra system anyway, so there are 7 things. These 7 steps are to help you from stop spiraling. These 7 steps are helping you to regulate your nervous system, tap into your potential, understand your soul, and to be honest, the main thing is to stop spiraling. I used to have really, really negative thoughts when I would spiral. And it's exhausting to pick yourself back up after this spiral. It's exhausting. And I did it over and over and over and over and over again, over and over and over again. I constantly did it because I knew one day that I would not spiral. I knew it. And I had this hope, and I kept learning tools and getting efficient. And this week was the first time something happened that was like a pretty big deal, and I did not spiral once. My thoughts remained at like, okay, how can I fix the problem, instead of, oh my God, I should kill myself. Like, why am I even alive? That's how I would spiral. I would go very, very dark to what's the point of life? When one bad thing would happen, that would be my reaction. That's crazy. So finally, this week, I'm happy to tell you guys that I didn't spiral even a little. Not at all. Not a spiral happened. With that being said, here is step 2. Let's go. Step 2 is insight and intuition. Step 2 is working with your insight and your intuition. How do you, first of all, you're probably wondering, what the hell do you mean by insight? Insight is something that you learn when you have a reflective moment. So it's reflecting, you reflect. So this is when you are journaling every day. You're writing down your thoughts. You are pausing in the middle of a conversation to say, do I actually believe the things that I'm saying? You are looking at your behavior and you analyze it and you reflect on it. Now, intuition is different. Intuition is knowing that something is going to happen before it happens. Or it's knowing something. It's also like the feeling of knowing something is going on, or it's just like a simple all knowing, all understanding. These are different symbols because they're different thoughts. For example, your intuition, you can know someone's intention without them actually speaking it. You can just know in your gut something is off. And you don't know what it is, and you don't know why. And everyone else seems to be loving this person, but you're like, something's wrong. And you don't know. It's your intuition. Let's say, for example, there are plenty of ways to understand what your intuition is, but mostly it's just a knowing. It's an inner knowing. It's a nudge. Hey, hey, something is off. And you know it, and you don't know why, and you have no evidence. And maybe everyone thinks you're crazy, but your intuition is speaking to you. So always, always listen. Okay? Now, how do you develop each of these qualities? Because it's the second step. The first one is self devotion. The second step is insight and intuition. How do you begin to develop these qualities? Well, intuition. So we take number 2, intuition. There are certain things that you can do. The first one that I always recommend is going on a walk. Go on a walk with no set destination in mind and just go down the streets your intuition tells you to. So walk with no plan. Walk without a plan. That's my first one. The second one is when you feel something in your gut, the first time, listen. Listen. And there are signs that you have to look out for. So like excitement. Excitement. If you feel excited about something, do it. If you feel the opposite of excitement, so like dread, don't do it. If you feel dreadful when doing something, or you feel like heavy or dark, don't do it. That's 2 parts of your intuition. Your excitement is telling you Green, go ahead. Okay? Your dread is telling you, no, don't do it. Don't do it. This is really good for when you want to hang out with friends, when you are picking out who you want to date, where you want to go, trips to take, hotels to book. Everything can be solved with intuition. Now, the first one. So, this is kind of how you can develop your intuition now, like starting today. The first one, reflecting, is a little bit different because reflecting is something that you learn to do backwards. So you can't really reflect on the future because it hasn't happened. You can only kind of look at your actions from yesterday and think, okay, what can I do better? So go over yesterday actions slash emotions as well. Now, they go hand in hand. So it's reflecting plus intuition. And the reason they go hand in hand is when you reflect, when you go over your actions and your emotions, you actually, when you are in a calm state of mind, you can say, okay, I did something that was a little crazy. Now that I am calm, I've eaten, I've had a nap, I've drank water, I realize I have done something unideal. You get to see it, you get to reflect, you get to go, okay, I was crazy. Oops, oopsies, my bad. And also, what's really nice about reflecting and going over your emotions is you can realize that sometimes they're not even your emotions that you're dealing with. So sometimes when we are influenced by our friends, our family, our partners, our coworkers, we actually tend to begin to have our emotions mixed with theirs. We tend to take their emotions on. So when you reflect, you can actually go, okay, what was I actually feeling? What is the weight of my feeling and not everybody else's? This allows you to then make better decisions when it comes to trusting your intuition. Because a lot of you don't even trust yourselves, which is like rule number 1, self-devotion. In self-devotion, you begin to trust yourself because you're spending time with yourself, you're loving yourself, you're really like, holy shit, like I have betrayed myself at so many different times in my life, and you see it. You see it in step 1. Then in step 2, you understand like, okay, this my behavior is coming from this thing. So if I sit for a moment longer with that feeling, will it go away because it's not even mine to hold? Does that make sense? Intuition then becomes easy to follow because you see clearly what is you and what is not you. So like, that's not me, but this is. That's not me, but this is. Nope, still not me, but this is. Thoughts, actions, plans, feelings, guidance, all of that becomes more clear when you begin to reflect on who you are. And the first step, of course, self-devotion, allows you the space to do that. It's very cool. Is everybody happy with that? So this is step 2. And the reason it's step 2 is because, like I said, this is step 2. And the reason it is because step 1 gives you a foundation to kind of build on. So basically, we're doing this. We have now created the first layer. Now we need a second layer to really help continue to grow. Or imagine it like this. The first step is here. This is the ground. We're rooting underneath the ground to really be held in divinity. And then once we hit those steps, we grow, we grow, we grow, we grow, we grow, and then we reach divine alignment up here. So this is why we need 7 steps, because you can't just go from here. That's impossible. You can't hold that vibration if you don't have your roots, which is why plants, if their roots die, they die. We need a root. We need a strong foundation. People from broken homes have a really hard time becoming successful because they don't know the foundation of holding that success because they're from a broken home. They're unrooted. They're ungrounded, which took me years to comprehend. By the way, as someone from a broken, unrooted home, from someone with chaos, I had to learn. It took me so many years to be like, okay, it's actually now my responsibility to create foundation for myself because I was so used to not having this. I was so used to being up in the air all the time that I didn't know what a like rooting was until I lived on my own. And then I started I started doing things by myself and I was like, oh my God. Okay. And not even then was I still able to hold my success. I still needed time to heal my root to be able to hold the vibration of more. Because you want more, but you actually can't hold it. So when you get it, you're nervous, and that's your nervous system. And that's why we're going through all of these steps, because at the end, your nervous system is prepared to have divinity. And divinity is everything that you want: joy, happiness, peace, abundance. Like all of these things come in when you can hold them. And the reason why we have these 7 steps is because we're preparing you to basically go to heaven, like to be in the state of heaven, which is why it's called divine alignment. They're so, you know what I mean? Does that make sense, you guys? So we're basically like preparing you to be in that heaven state, that flow state, that divine state where you can hold all of your success, all of your dreams, everything that you want. So this is step 2. Go watch step 1. You want to be the first person to know when this new course comes out because I'm completely revamping every educational thing I've done to make it make more sense for you. If you want to be one of the first people to know, go and sign up for my email list and I will get it to you as soon as possible. Okay? Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'm always happy to hear your thoughts and your comments, and I hope you have a good day.